So today we're going to talk about terminology that we use in biology. Lots of people, when they go to college, they'll take a class called medical terminology, and it helps you to break words apart and make sense of them. Another way people describe it is by if they take a Latin course. Latin is a lot of these prefixes, the beginnings of words, and suffixes, and putting them together to make new words and pulling them apart to actually make sense of words. So we're going to do that with some biology words. So tonsil, that means the gland in the back of the throat. Itis, in medical terminology, means the swelling of or swelling. So tonsillitis, think about it. What would that mean? Well, that would mean the swelling of your tonsils. So if you look at this, here is a tonsil that's swollen. Here is another tonsil that is swollen. The back of the throat should be nice and smooth, like back here, without these big bumps. And that's why a doctor will look in the throat and see if you say, "I feel sick," they'll feel the sides of your throat to see if you do have bumps there. But they will also look inside your throat and see if your glands are swollen like that. This thing here is not your tonsils. A lot of people think that. That's called the uvula. Now, what it's for, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. But that is definitely not the tonsil. Okay, appendix is the same as the appendix. So appendicitis, what do you think that is? All right, that's the inflammation or swelling of the appendix. Now, if you look in this picture on the left, we've got this large colon, and then before that was the small colon or small intestines. This is the large intestines. That's the same as the colon, sorry. And in this little tiny part, it's about the size of your pinky. That's the appendix. Now, at this point, scientists kind of argue back and forth what that was used for in the past. Right now, they believe it is just a vestigial organ, which we will talk about later in evolution. But if it gets inflamed and infected, you have to have it removed. Otherwise, it will burst, and here's a bigger picture of it. It can burst inside your body and you can die from infection. Okay, larynge means, or larynge, means your voice box. That's where your voice is coming from. Okay, so if you look in here, here's your thyroid, and behind the thyroid, just below there, that's where your voice box is, or your larynge. Okay, so when that is swollen, what do you think it's called? It's called laryngitis. So you have a hard time speaking. Now, here is your larynge, this whole part right here. We're looking down somebody's throat. This might be the tongue. It's kind of hard to tell from here. But here is one vocal cord and another vocal cord. And what those vocal cords do is they hit against each other right here and it makes sound. That's why you can hear my voice. The sound is moving, the voice vocal cords are moving and hitting each other and making a vibration, and the vibration is traveling out, up your throat, out your mouth, into the air. It vibrates the air until it hits somebody else's ears, and then they can hear your voice. Okay, so the video that you just watched was this part of the person's body. When they do beatboxing, that's where that sound is coming from. Okay, encephal means brain. So what would swelling of the brain be called? Encephalitis. Yeah. So with encephalitis, you get swelling throughout the brain and oh, you get a bad headache. It is not fun. Okay. Meninge, the casing around the brain and spinal cord. So if you look back here, the meninge is just the very outer thin, very thin layer. Like you can't even see it. It's so thin. And it's around here and it's around your spinal cord or the base of your brain, I guess. And then it goes down into your spinal cord. And if that is swollen, then you get meningitis. And I bet you guys have heard about that. There's two different kinds of meningitis. There's meningitis A, which we have a vaccine for, and meningitis B, which is a bacterial infection, which is, oh, you don't want it. It's pretty much a death sentence right there if you get it. So again, very painful, very sick when you get it. It's not cool. Lots of colleges, when people go off to college, they get meningitis A. They'll not a lot, but it'll travel through dorms once in a while. You'll see it on the news when there's a little outbreak of it at a college because it is so dangerous and it just does not feel good at all.